What is up, guys? It is Rami Noodles here, and today I am talking about my favorite game, Star Wars Galaxies. More specifically, SWGemu has released Part 3 in their 3-part series about SWGemu's past, present, and future, with Part 3 being today, being the future of SWG, and I am very excited. Now, just a little bit of forewarning or just letting y'all know, I watched this once already, and this is not a straight up reaction video since this is not my first reaction to it. And I had to re-record because I just had software issues. I don't know what was going on, but something went wrong and it's terrible. Anyways, with that said, I also was asked to work on this last year, and I didn't get to because of real life, and that's okay. Real life happens. It's understandable. But so I'm privy to a lot of the stuff that was already in the video. So together we're going to watch it, and I'm going to share my thoughts on it because I've been wanting to talk about this for so long, and SWGemu just uses the honor system, so I wasn't able to make videos about it and stuff. So now I can because it's public information and it's awesome. Anyways, so here we go. We're gonna watch it together, y'all.
Welcome back to the third and final installment in the 3-part series about the past, present, and future of SWGemu. This is the video we've all been waiting for, which addresses what is planned for the future of pre-CU Star Wars Galaxies now that the SWGemu project is complete. I'm Mobius1, and joining me for this final part of the series is none other than Lord Cater.
Thanks, Mobius. This is Lord Cater. I've been with the SWGemu project off and on again since 2013, so I'm not one of the originals. But as you know, in 2017, I stepped up to take the challenge of rebuilding our infrastructure, adding APIs to the SWGemu Core 3 engine, and creating Eye of Sauron, amongst other things like quality of life enhancements to the game. But today, let's talk about the immediate future and what lies ahead.
To clear any misunderstandings, the term 1.0 means that the SWGemu project has reached their goal that was set out so many years ago.
Okay, so there's something that a lot of people, I think they have confusion about, because I guess it was like the statement many years ago. You got to remember, SWGemu has been around since 2006. It's been almost 20 years of development. A lot of people thought that when 1.0 hits, there's a new server coming, and I even would post about this on Reddit, and I'd say, hey, with 1.0, there's not going to really be a new server. 1.0 is actually done. Not that there won't eventually be a new server, but that don't expect one right off the rip, because they have to do things for a new server to come up. I would say that. I'm pretty sure SWGemu devs themselves are saying that in the Discord of SWGemu, and so there was this lot of confusion about what 1.0 is. 1.0 is now. We've had 1.0 for months because it was announced a while back, and that is Finalizer. 1.0 is basically Finalizer with some custom Finalizer changes, but I guess if you go on the test server where it's just straight vanilla, that is 1.0. So 1.0 has been achieved. This is not a video about 1.0 necessarily, but they're explaining it. They're explaining what 1.0 is, I guess, because I think there was some confusion there from players. And anyways.
Namely, to provide an open source code repository for vanilla server daemon software that interacts with the SWG pre-CU 14.1 client. In episode 2 of this series, the team announced that they have reached that goal and the project is finally complete. LK, does that mean we can expect to see a new server go live soon?
That's a great question, Mobius. The short answer is no. The long answer is more complicated. As you know, in addition to helping us accelerate development towards 14.1, Finalizer was a testbed for non-14.1 changes, and Finalizer provided the opportunity for data collection and analysis to help us drive future decisions. For over a decade, we talked internally about what could happen after we reach 1.0, but it wasn't until Finalizer that some things became apparent for any post 1.0 server. First, we knew we'd have to ensure we had a comprehensive system for server launch that could scale to thousands of players. You might remember at its peak, Finalizer actually got to 2,500 players online.
I did not know Finalizer reached 2,500 players. That was news to me. But I think, if I remember correctly, at the very beginning, there wasn't a correct player count. Like the player count thing was broken, if I remember correctly. I don't remember. But if Lord Cater says 2,500, I'm believing 2,500. That's concurrently. There was a lot of people at the launch of Finalizer. It was nuts. The highest I had seen it was, I believe, 1,900 players, which, by the way, is the most popular server that has existed for Star Wars Galaxies, because this is one account counting. This is not like Basilisk was, right? Like Basilisk was, counting every character, and Finalizer still actually counts the characters, but you can only log one in at a time, so it's essentially an account thing, right? Like one account is one player, and that's the way it's supposed to be. And anyways, other servers have, there's numbers are skewed because they count characters online. They'll allow like 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever. SWGemu has always had the highest numbers at its peaks. It's always had the highest numbers. And I think with what they've got planned, I think it's going to go even higher. I've said that in the past. I'm going to say it again. I think it'll go even higher than that. Anyways, let's continue.
That was no small feat to keep up and running, I can tell you that. We need to provide a seamless experience for users signing up, patching their clients to play, and logging in across all of our services. Second, as we analyzed the data from multiple launches and Finalizer, it became clear that we needed to start the server's initial configuration very carefully. We need to avoid a handful of people ending up with the bulk of the server's best resources, including things like lots, character slots, credit sources, and syncs. Third, every SWGemu server starts with that fresh server smell and the excitement of unbounded opportunities, which within 90 days falls flat. The data shows that this is due to the lack of post-90-day content. While you can keep building and cycle through the same dreary missions every day, the player isn't challenged to explore new content or find new things to do. Because of this, we need a system that empowers creative contributors to develop new stories with quest lines, new content, such as new items, or even new dungeons and instances. Otherwise, people will burn out within 90 days and 5% of the original population will remain. This pattern has repeatedly unfolded across.
Yeah, so look at all these servers. He's talking about a pattern. All these servers that are being listed, I've heard of a lot of them.
SWGemu servers and private side servers.
They're dead. And then you see Restoration CU here. Okay, so explanation about that one. The Restoration server, before it was Restoration 3, which is still what it is today. And then before that, there was Restoration 1 and there was Restoration 2. And both of those were on Core 3 code. And those servers obviously don't exist anymore. You just have Restoration. But the rest of these, like some of these are, like they've relaunched. Like SWG Animus is on there. SWG Animus just wiped and relaunched under new management. Stardust had at one point wiped and been dead for I think a couple of years and then relaunched. Like there's clearly a pattern going on where all these servers pop up and it's not even they're gonna show more. It's insane how many there are. There's so many servers that have cropped up and died over the years, and I think it's a good thing to point out how many there have been that have died because it hasn't worked. My opinion personally is I believe in the SWGemu team. He's talking about being data driven like Lord Cater is, and also, I think the other thing that you need to look at is you need to understand what SWG is. A lot of people don't understand what SWG is. They don't look at the data. They don't understand like the economy aspect of the game. A lot of people don't understand like game balance whatsoever. And they don't come up with like creative solutions. So a lot of these servers are guilty of just being like, in my opinion, and I'm not trying to insult anybody, but just like really bad servers. Like a lot of them are just really, really bad. And there's still ones running today that I think are really, really bad. I'm not going to call out any specific ones or anything, but I'm just saying people don't think about these things. They don't think about what was the original intent behind SWG? What was the purpose of the way it was designed? And, it's not to say that the design was flawless, but it is to say that there's an intent behind that design. And did it accomplish that or not? And if it did, what can we add to it to make it more interesting? And then if it didn't, how can we fix that? And I think that's a question that a lot of people don't ask themselves when they create a new server. And at the same time, I don't think that a lot of these servers have a lot of vision. I would say Stardust is an exception on this list. I think Stardust absolutely had a vision for what it wanted to be. And that comes out in how detailed, how different it is, how different it really, really is. And so I think that my opinion is that the future of SWG is in the people who made SWGemu happen. And there's going to be more about that, but that they're the only ones that have shown like any consideration towards the original like work. Not the only ones, I'll say. They're not the only ones. I'll say that. They're not the only ones, but they have definitely put a lot of time and effort and thought into it. And obviously they created Core 3, which is what Star Wars Galaxies runs on, from scratch over several years. Obviously they put a lot of hard work into it. And so that's why I think that the future kind of lies in these people.
To achieve these changes, we must veer sharply away from the original SWGEmu's project vision. The vision of creating the code for vanilla 14.1 server experience is now complete. With that in mind, the first step we'll take past 1.0 will be to move the SWGEmu project into an archive state. The forums will be changed to read-only and preserved for historical purposes. All the old archived information and ideas will still remain available. The Core 3 and Engine 3 source code will remain as public repositories. We will continue to push JTL updates until it's complete, and we'll push any stability fixes for the 14.1 game. With the completion of the project, SWGEmu can begin to down.
Man, the closure of the forums, there's been so much. I know people generally these days don't really look at forums or whatever. There's Discord. Discord's replaced everything, it feels like. But man, the forums back in the day, dude, the forum PvP was over the top. So anyways, it's a little bittersweet to see the forums closing, that's like an era of the internet that is continually going away or being regulated to Discord or Reddit, and then Reddit's, its own thing, whatever. So anyways, I'm going to miss the forums. The forums I thought were, even though they're kind of a relic, I still really like forums.
Downsize. Since the goal of 1.0 has been hit, we will soon stop accepting donations to the SWGEmu project. Anything left in the account will continue to support the archived SWGEmu site and Nova test server as long as reasonable. Some of our current staff will move forward to begin the NFS team. Others, though, will retire from the project now that it's done.
NFS, that's what they mentioned in the second video.
With that in mind, the NFS team is also looking to expand. They're looking to fill a number of positions, looking for a web developer who will shape the community experience for the project, and work with a graphic designer who will design the public presence on both the website and social media platforms. And of course, they need client developers, Core 3 server developers to extend the SWGEmu code base, including the client, to enable new in-game content and quality of life changes. Since content is king, they're looking for content writers and creators. These are people who will be hands-on in the creation of quest lines, content you'd expect from modern MMOs. They don't necessarily have to be coders because they'd be working with the server, client, and front-end developers to get the content into game.
That is a really, really awesome idea. There's a lot of ideas I've seen that are good from people who have no idea how to code. And that's excellent that's a position that they are willing to have. Like, hey, you want to write for us? Go for it. If you're good at it, go for it. That's awesome, because some people are just really good at writing good dialogue, there's writers out there, literal writers. And yeah, so it's that is awesome to see. I'm really, really excited for NFS.
And last but not least, quality assurance. Especially since the new content will be created and developed internally, the NFS team is going to be looking for dedicated and active testers to ensure players have a great experience as the server evolves with new content, new items, dungeons, and instances. If you're interested in any of these positions, see the description for a link on how you can apply today. Since the SWG EMU donations were used to fund the goal of creating a code base that supports a 14.1 pre-CU server, NFS will not utilize any of SWG EMU funds to finance its own project. NFS will soon announce its own plans to fund its project. Meanwhile, I'm sure you're curious, what happens to the existing servers? The current Play server, Finalizer, and both test servers, TC Prime and Nova, will continue to be hosted while SWG EMU funds remain to pay for the supporting infrastructure. Approximately 1 year after NFS launches, we expect to shut down all the SWG EMU servers in favor of the new community-based servers that will carry the SWG legacy forward. Now, take a deep breath. Whew, let that sink in. I know it's a lot. There's more. Hold on to your blaster. You're in for a wild ride. Over the years, my personal contributions to the SWG EMU project has been things like migrating our servers to new containerized technologies, creating a full development pipeline that allows code to be pushed and tested within minutes on our servers, making the lives of our coders and our testers so much easier. As you know, Mobius, I developed the Eye of Sauron to log credits, items, skills, experience, and numerous other transactions. These tools help catch cheaters, but they also provide insights into how players interact with the game at scale. Many people may not know that I also developed the customer support tooling, allows the team to investigate issues, help players sort account problems rapidly, and allows the developers to investigate in-game problems. I have also enjoyed making other contributions to the project, such as quality and life enhancements and adding APIs to Core 3 for automation. However, the bulk of my work has focused on infrastructure and data. The areas I feel the most passionate about on the project are making it easier for our developers, quality assurance, and customer support teams to contribute quickly and safely to the project's progress. As you know, I enjoy digging deep into the data and dispelling myths, as evidenced by my many Use the Data Luke posts.
I think most people who have read those posts enjoy those posts. If they're understanding what they're looking at, I love the data posts. The 90 days thing, the 90-day content thing, that's from data, and it's really good. I enjoy that.
All this said, my real life has been hectic the last couple of years. I've had to deal with 2 deaths in my family, a new crazy job, and my own health issues. These facts weigh heavy on me. I wish I could contribute more, but sadly, real life always wins, and over time, not sure I can keep up with the speed the NFS team wants to move at. With that in mind,
that is mad unfortunate that it's not going to be like full on with the NFS team, and I hope his health is doing okay. And LK, I like LK a lot, so I hope everything's going well for him. I think the NFS team needs someone like LK. I think they need another LK. I don't know if I don't know. Has AI invented clone technology yet? Can we get that out? Get another LK with all the things he's learned in life and all the data he has in his head. Can we get some AI clones? Attack of the Clones server. Maybe we'll get that. But that is mad unfortunate to hear. Because I think he is actually very, very, very valuable and has done a lot of good work. Anyways, we'll continue on.
I am not planning to be a core member of the NFS development team. Don't get me wrong, I might still pop in and do some server code, some in-game content, extend the APIs or other things. But I can't be in the way of progress, and the main NFS work streams need to move quickly without me. Now, before you start getting upset, Mobius, give me a moment to explain. I think you'll be excited by what comes next. I think I've had a vision since 2017 of creating a single place where the entire SWG community can come together and enjoy many styles of SWG experiences, and remove all the heavy lifting needed to run a server and integrate with multiple services. I've been working on Unix systems for more than 40 years. And since taking over the infrastructure in 2017, I've learned many valuable lessons about the pains of running an SWG EMU-based server. One way I think I can support the entire community is by leveraging my experience to to develop a platform that removes that heavy lifting of running a server. Teams like NFS should be able to quickly launch their server, monitor for cheaters, handle customer support requests, debug new content. They should be able to move fast, enjoy the work of creating the new content and capabilities for the community, but not muck around in all the operating system management, managing resources, backups, data analytics pipelines, code deployment pipelines, and all the other mundane tasks. With that in mind, I'm announcing the launch of a new project I will manage called SWG Realms. This will allow me to make the initial investment of setting up a new infrastructure for community servers. And it will allow the NFS...
Let's see what this says. It says SWG Realms offers an easy and affordable way to launch your own Star Wars Galaxies Emulator server. Enjoy full control over settings and configuration with our user-friendly management interface. Features: easy-to-use control panels, single sign-on across all servers. Your choice: invite only or open to all community members. VPN and bot detection. Transaction review tooling. Account-wide bans or IP bans. Customizable settings, including Lua script, server monitoring and alerting, automated snapshot backups, advanced plans, including Git repo automation, pricing TBD. Yeah, that's a lot of stuff. I think I understood some of those words.
Team to move forward faster without me slowing them down in the long run. This project will build on the infrastructure I developed for the SWGemu and extend it to support multiple galaxies with a shared community of players who can interact with each other while enjoying a diverse universe of SWGemu-based servers. This service will provide the ability to allow global user logins across multiple Galaxy servers, push client updates, launch different versions of the SWG client, and give access to Galaxy-specific integrations such as websites and verified Discord user access. The goal of the SWG Realms project is to modernize the infrastructure and the security to leverage the scale of a community to support many potential galaxies.
So essentially what he's saying is a single launcher which has multiple servers on it. So for example, I'm not saying that these are going to be the servers available, but just as an example, if you play Empire and Flames, or if you were playing Stardust or Finalizer, you would be able to access all three of those servers, assuming those servers go through SWG Realms. You would be able to access all three of those servers through a single launcher, launch their whatever clients with whatever patches they need to play those, and play the game. Assuming you have, like, I guess you're going to still need the discs, so you'll still need that, but you will be able to go play whatever server comes up, which in my opinion is the greatest thing ever because it gives ease of access to players who might be interested in a server but don't want to go through the hassle of like figuring out how to download it. I mean, a lot of and like install it and then create multiple SWG folders and have to do it all manually. That is a barrier to entry, and the less barrier of entry there is to playing something, the more likely someone is to give it a shot. So because there's less barrier of entry, we can then see people switching servers. You might like Finalizer, you might like the vanilla experience, you might be like, I want to play that, and you just play that, and that's fine. But then you might see Empire and Flames, and you'll be like, let me give that a try. They've got some cool stuff. You know, like that is entirely possible with SWG Realms, and that is going to be, I think, a boon to the Star Wars Galaxies community, because I think what essentially is going to happen is the best server is going to rise to the top. Now, I am keeping this strictly Star Wars Galaxies related, so I'm not going to talk about other games, but there are other emulators for other games where there's much higher populations than even Star Wars Galaxies has released or reached on a single server. And so I think doing this allows us to kind of condense into one server, or the best server will rise to the top, essentially, is what I'm saying. Even though there might be 15, 20, 30 servers, who knows how many servers there'll be. You saw that list of dead servers earlier, right? There's a lot of servers that have come and gone, and I think this is like a perfect opportunity for anybody who wants to make a server, and if they've got good ideas, even better. And so I'm very, very excited for this. Extremely excited for this.
I've pitched this concept internally for years, and today I'm happy to announce that the NFS team has decided to be my first server launch partner on SWG Realms. Since SWG Realms is designed from the start to handle multiple galaxies, even different clients, I'm also excited to announce that our second launch partner is the SWGemu team.
I have known this was coming for a while, and I'm so happy because the SWGemu, I think the CU is my favorite version of SWG. Now, I will continue to play pre-CU. I am not quitting pre-CU by any means. I've been playing pre-CU. I mean, I've been playing SWGemu since 2008. So, you know, I don't think I hate pre-CU. I don't hate pre-CU. I've made videos criticizing problems with pre-CU, but that doesn't mean that pre-CU is just a broken, unfixable mess. It just means it's a broken, totally fixable mess. But the CU is really where I've spent a lot of time in the past year plus. For my SWG time, I have done a lot of testing for SWGemu and dug up a lot of stuff in the archives to see like how things work, and it's not just been me; it's been some other people too, and yeah, this is awesome, and I think it's actually kind of funny. I told Hackery I knew this announcement, like the SWGemu announcement, was for sure happening, since we're getting a server soon. But I told Hackery, I was like, wouldn't it be funny if you launched this video on April 1st? Because that's when April Fool's is. And the patch after 14.1 is published 15. And that's when the CU came about. So that would have been really funny. But I think maybe people would find that maybe controversial, even though we're still going to have pre-CU. It's not, it just seems funny to me. Anyways, let's continue on.
SWGemu plans to launch their own galaxy that leverages the SWGemu codebase, but targets their client and the game content to the CU timeline. The SWGemu team has quietly made incredible progress and are nearing the point where they're ready to allow public access to their own test server. At launch, SWG Realms will have a single community of players who can play on 2 different SWG experiences by 2 different teams. This is the start of what I hope will be many new and exciting experiences based on the SWGemu project's original dream of putting the game into the player's hands.
Thanks to Herculean efforts by multiple developers, the first JTL quest has finally hit Nova. This means that we are nearing the point in which JTL will be publicly enabled on Finalizer. That's right, JTL is coming to Finalizer. For those of you who have not yet checked it out, you can right now log on to Nova, launch into space, and relive some of SWG's finest moments.
Well, Mobius,
I am so excited for custom JTL content. You guys have no idea. The amount of custom content that is going to be made for JTL, I can already tell, dude. I can already tell the autism for JTL is so high. It will shine so bright. It is unbelievable. And I myself, I think I'm actually going to try doing a crafting class. If you know me, you know I don't craft really, but I think I actually do want to try out Shipwright and maybe delve into some JTL content. But definitely wanted to give JTL a spin for Shipwright, and as soon as that is enabled on Finalizer, you will see me streaming it, assuming that I can get through that grind, however that grind might be. Maybe it's bad, maybe it's good, I don't know. Maybe we end up in the news, streamer dies of boredom at his on YouTube, whatever. Doesn't really matter. Anyways, I'm excited for JTL. I think JTL stuff is going to go hard once it starts getting custom.
Entering a very cool phase of the community-driven SWG timeline. Have you ever noticed a typo in Vader's dialogue from the Imperial theme park, or been irritated that skirts have sockets but won't accept attachments? These are all client-side bugs. SWG Realms will allow the NFS team to address client issues that they have been patiently awaiting fixes for decades in the SWGemu project. Once NFS and SWGemu launch on SWG Realms, the developers of these galaxies will have a seamless process for pushing client fixes and paving the way for new and exciting content going forward.
The SWGemu staff have been discussing goals and direction for over a decade. They identified key areas such as custom content, new pets, housing, speeders, mounts, and planets. While nothing is set in stone, they also suggested making changes that promote at-the-keyboard play, tweaks to the resource spawning systems, changes to hand sampling, incentivizing group play, and skill and ability fixes. Notably, though, the team has not addressed lots and slots or any other specific content they plan to implement. However, they have suggested...
Just a real quick point, I think I want to point out, that is Kashyyyk, that is Kichiro in the Pre-CU client, which... up until this video, I don't think I remember ever seeing that before. And I think Rage of the Wookiees in Pre-CU would go really hard. Like, I think people would really enjoy that stuff. Just mostly because we've never had it before. And I don't know if that's coming. I'm not saying I don't ask me about what is coming. I don't know anymore. Today is like the end of my knowledge, right? For what the future of SWG is. Because I was very much anticipating this video, but Kashyyyk and Pre-CU sounds sick, and I would be super about that. Like, that would be a lot of fun. That would be really, really, really cool. Anyways.
Incorporating some content from versions of SWG both before 14.1 as well as post-CU and even elements from NGE. There are things in those other versions of the game that could provide enjoyable gameplay without taking away from the pre-CU experience.
Amen, brother Mobius.
The NFS team has also been monitoring and discussing suggestions from both the forums and Discord, and they do recognize a need for a community representative system. This would allow a better method for the community to voice the most valuable ideas to the NFS.
What? I watched this video before, but I didn't even notice. This is Mustafar in the pre-CU client. I didn't even realize that. Now it looks different. I guess I didn't realize it before. I don't know why. I guess my brain was turned off. This is cool. I've never seen this. Legitimately, I didn't even expect this. Kashyyyk is one thing. Mustafar is a different. It looks different because I believe the client has like graphical things that are different from the CU client and NGE client. That's why it looks considerably more like you're just like driving through piles of coal, but you know, that is Mustafar. That's really cool.
NFS staff for discussion. The team is not able to say exactly when the NFS will be launched, but as the NFS team grows, there should be visible progress to the community.
Raph Koster said, "You have this problem with the game. People identify as being a Jedi. But at this point in the storyline, Jedi are supposed to be rare and incredibly powerful. As a result of that, the NFS team has decided that Jedi will not be available upon NFS launch. At a later date, they'll implement their own custom Jedi system that borrows a lot of Koster's ideas and original designs."
Yeah, so this is what I was talking about. Like, a lot of servers that have launched and died don't even think about the original intention behind like the design of SWG. And Jedi is, I mean, there's servers out there right now. You can go be a Jedi if you want. And I also think this is the benefit of SWG Realms, because what's going to happen is people are going to vote with their time as to what deserves to live or die in servers, I guess. With easy access to these servers, they'll be able to say, hey, I want to play a server that does have Jedi, and you can totally play that server. Like, I don't think they're gonna have any kind of content restrictions, essentially, for SWG Realms within reason, I assume. So it's like you could play NFS, which has no Jedi at launch, or you could see someone else having a different server that does have Jedi at launch, or a server where everyone's a Jedi. Like it could be, there was a guy working on a server some time ago. A friend of mine actually was working on a Jedi only server, and he had a bunch of cool systems in place, and that would have been perfect. Like, it would have been a new experience, and maybe it's not the most popular, but it's something people play. I just think SWG Realms is such a good idea. And then also going back to, hey, we're thinking about what the intent of design was, because specifically with Jedi, right? Like, Jedi had a heavy hand in killing Star Wars Galaxies, and a lot of people blame it on the NGE, and I definitely agree that the NGE was a big part of it, for certain. but the decline of SWG started in pre-CU with Jedi, and there's a YouTube channel actually called Saint Millionaire about how Jedi killed Star Wars Galaxies. And while I don't agree necessarily with that title, like I don't think it killed Star Wars Galaxies, it definitely contributed to its decline. That video is very good, and I highly recommend watching it. But anyways, like this is what I'm talking about when like most people come up with servers and they go in and then they make a server and then they have like 6 times missions, inflation is through the roof. They never gave a thought to the economy or class balance. They're just like, that's cool, I'm going to add that. And then, you know, some servers had really cool quality of life stuff, but most people don't even really think about these things when they launch a server, it seems like. So that's why I trust SWGemu, or I guess the NFS team is going to be the future, and SWG Realms. That's why I trust these guys, these particular people, because they've actually they've proven and have demonstrated that they've put a lot of thought into the future of Star Wars Galaxies and the issues of Star Wars Galaxies and ways to resolve them, while not actually pushing those resolutions forward into Finalizer because it's a 14.1 server. I look forward to seeing what they come up with for NFS. I think it's going to be fantastic. I think it's going to be the best, some of the best SWG we've ever seen. Now, I am partial to the CU. That's my favorite version, hands down. But I am absolutely going to keep playing like whatever they come up with, the NFS stuff. So anyways.
In the meantime, the NFS team will focus on creating a custom content pipeline and other aspects of gameplay.
Thank you all for joining us for the final part of this series and the end of the beginning. Like most of you, I can't wait to see what the future has in store for the NFS team and CUEMU as they both move forward under SWG Realms. Again, I'm Mobius1.
And I am Lord Cater.
Thank you all for watching, and may the Force be with you.
Now that's awesome. So I'm super excited for that. That's going to be awesome. Man, I don't know when it's going to launch or whatever. I don't know when CUEMU is going to launch a server. Should be soon-ish, I want to say, but that soon is TM, you know, like soon TM. I have no idea when that launches, but I think the future of SWG is so incredibly bright. I will definitely be making more Star Wars Galaxies content, especially for NFS, especially for CUEMU. And when I get an idea of like when CUEMU is going to launch, you'll probably see my videos ramp up on that. Aside from that, I've also been testing Raph Koster's new game, Stars Reach, and I'm actually going to make Stars Reach content as well because it is very much in the realm of Star Wars Galaxies for me. So anyways, thank you for watching, and I'm super happy to be here. And if you like, you can leave a subscribe and also leave your comments down below what you think. I know there's some people that disagree with me out there, and I'm eager to hear your disagreements and why you think that. And if you don't disagree, cool. You know, we can be buds. We can be buds even if we disagree. Anyways, I'm Rami Noodles. Catch y'all later. Have a good one. Peace.